Hello everyone, welcome to the Uncensored Match Build-Up Show. I'm Chris Pajak, that there is Chloe Bloxham, and we've got Dan Clubb in the building for this one as we build up to Liverpool away at Luton Town. Kenilworth Road, Chloe. Hello, welcome. It's been a long time since you've done a watch along, hasn't it?
Yeah.
What's it like?
I've been weathering the storms.
Just like the rest of the country, yeah?
Yeah, but I've enjoyed it. It's actually a bit... I mean, I feel like I'm out of place being back, but I'm going to enjoy it all the more because I'm sat next to you.
Are you getting like sort of... Are you okay with not being on a coach at 5 a.m?
No, absolutely not. I need to be on that coach at 5 a.m. in the morning. Yeah. But it's not happened today because, you know, Luton Town have extremely little tickets to sell us. But yeah, I'm happy to be here. I'm just happy to be watching the football, really.
Excellent. Dan, what about you, mate? Are you looking forward to this one?
Yes, mate, massively so, to be honest with you. A little bit of a throwback game, not a fixture we've come across all that often. I think 2008 was the last time we played down at Luton's ground. So yeah, interesting game. The type of game Liverpool came unstuck on quite a lot last season. And there was loads of them. Our kryptonite was all over the place last year, but these type of fixtures in particular. So this new look Liverpool 2.0 need to show they can get this type of job done.
Absolutely. Okay, so got a little something from Jurgen Klopp, who's given us an update on Bajcetic and Thiago. So we'll hear from the gaffer, and I'll hear more from these two.
With Stefan, it's again one of these things. Let me say it like that. Stefan's quality, potential, talent, whatever, everybody could see, and it's incredible. What a player. But the body was not ready yet. So that's how it is. And then you have these kind of, they're still growing, these boys, and they're all different. We have other players with a different, skeleton. It's just a different body where, okay, that's fine. And for other players, okay, it's a bit too early. So we just have to put the break in again and just wait until that's all fine. And then the Liverpool FC have a wonderful player to use. But there's absolutely no time what we can put on that, and we will not. We just have to wait. He's here, he's training, he's doing his stuff, we're building his... So we know how good he is, and now we have to make sure that we help him to get a body to show that, and not only once, but then 3 times a week, and we will get there. Very good news for the club. In a moment we cannot use him, and that's all. With Thiago it's slightly different. It's an ongoing thing, and we cannot put any kind of pressure in there as well. But we expect him to be back, and I would say probably start of the new year.
Start of the new year for Thiago, Chloe. That is a long time he'll have been out for.
Yeah, I'm not going to say the joke because I 100% know Dan's going to do it, and he's already done it once, so I won't take it away from him. But yeah, it's mad, innit, how it was played down, and like a month became 2, and overall it's going to be like 9 months out until he's back.
Do you think he was pregnant?
Potentially. He's done unbelievable there if he has, like... He's laughed at his own joke too much there.
Brilliant though.
Sure. But yeah, it's mad how Liverpool though seemingly don't miss him is the mad thing, because Thiago is one hell of a footballer, and yet this midfield he's have to fight for his place just to even get back into it, never mind to actually play game in, game out.
Absolutely.
Dan, over to you. Sorry, can Dan just say his little words?
No, Dan doesn't want to say anything about it, but he will be arriving in January, we hope, and if he does arrive in January, what would it be like, Dan?
Like a new signing, wouldn't it? The joke was though, it'll be back available in the new year, and my response was which year, because we have got to that point now with Thiago. Unfortunately, Chloe mentioned I think his last start was April, which would therefore make it 9 months without him, and given how brilliant he is, it is fascinating how Liverpool don't seem to miss him. Like, you can almost forget that he plays for us at times. This is an absolute luxury. I do wonder whether we do get him fit, whether it'll be for Liverpool or whether we'll decide to move him on in January. I'm not quite sure. If you can get him fit, sort of show opposing teams around Europe that he can play football again, maybe you do move him on at that point, because I'm not quite sure. It's the last chance Liverpool are going to have to cash in on him, basically. He's out of contract in the summer. If you're going to get any money back for Thiago, you need to do it in January. So that's kind of where I'm at with it, to be honest.
Dan, what about Bajcetic then, mate? Because obviously we've seen young players over the years have problems with the bodies and stuff like that. Is this just, you think, Liverpool being precautionary with a guy who could have a 10, 15 year long career with us?
Yeah, probably. And I think we probably probably overused him because we had to, because our midfield absolutely fell off a cliff last season, and Thiago and Bajcetic was a shining light in that. When he came into the side, he absolutely took him by the scruff of the neck and really was outstanding for that little short period of time. And probably in a different world, Liverpool would have liked to have taken him out the five-in line earlier, like we've done previously. We've managed youngsters really well and sort of their integration into the side. Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott especially. We'd have liked to have done that with Bajcetic, but the options weren't there, and he was playing so well, we just had to keep going with him. Unfortunately, it's caused the situation that we're in now, which means he's not available. But yeah, there's no doubt in his quality, there's no doubt in his talents and his potential. So I hope we can get him back up and running, but you'd imagine, given the options we've now got, and sort of the way we're playing again, we don't need to rush him back, so we need to be extra careful because, like I say, we've got a real talent on our hands there.
Absolutely. I've got a little comment coming here from Skip to my Lou, who says, hello Chloe, Chris, Danny, take advantage of Arsenal dropping points up the Reds. That was the only one really, wasn't it, from the weekend's game where you think, right, this is it. I mean, Mikel Arteta losing his head was absolutely glorious, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really good, especially because Mikel, don't you know that they're all just trying to do their best and mistakes happen. This
They're
is just
only
a natural
human,
thing.
Mikel.
They are only human. But yeah, it was great to see him absolutely lose his head. I mean, surprisingly, Bournemouth didn't take anything from Manchester City. It's unbelievable, that, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, Liverpool need to capitalise on Arsenal, go ahead of them, put the pressure on Spurs as well, who do place Chelsea tomorrow night. Liverpool just need to get their part of the job done, get the 3 points and see it through.
Absolutely. We had a comment as well from Liam Bento, one of our YouTube members. Is it possible that Thiago's hips are suffering from the long-term consequences of doing that signature shimmy feint at the highest level for 20 years? Yes, very much so.
Also,
Liam,
the way he passes a ball.
Oh, mate, he's just so good to watch, isn't he, Dan?
Yeah.
I can see the team behind you, of course. The big rumour going around Twitter last night and WhatsApp groups, if you're in any, for Liverpool fans, is Joe Gomez is going to be starting at left back. Is that your predicted 11?
It is based on that rumour that we discussed. Were it not for that, I would have had Kostas Tsimikas in there at left back. The rest of it is very much mine. I did it on Friday before we left, and the one change I did make when I came in today was getting Joe Gomez in there, which is interesting. I kind of put it down to the amount of football Tsimikas has been asked to play and the amount of football he's going to need to play over the next few weeks before the international break, of course, and thereafter with Andy Robertson likely to be out to around the new year as well. But also, I wonder whether he's chosen this game for it, because Luton are going to pose as a threat aerially, and I wonder whether Joe Gomez is the best man for that particular job. Klopp alluded to Gomez maybe doing a little bit of left back when Robertson first picked up the injury, but it is interesting how he's waited for this fixture. But like I say, it could be because if Luton are going to hurt us, it's likely to be from set pieces and stuff like that. So getting what is essentially another centre back in there might be a smart move.
Absolutely. Chloe, one of the things I want to talk to you about is, obviously we know that Kurt Jones missed training on Friday. He's obviously on the bench there behind Dan. Have you heard anything about what this could potentially be?
No, I've not heard anything, surprisingly, and usually you would. And look, it's absolutely horrific for him if he's picked up some kind of injury, because he's been unbelievable for Liverpool. You know, towards the end of last season, he was incredible, possibly one of our best players. And then he sadly picked up a red card against Spurs when he was in great form, and he's missed the last couple of games. And he's becoming a leader, he's becoming a senior player. You've seen from the videos around the training centre that he's got such good bonds with a lot of the lads, messing about. And hopefully it's not too bad. Look, we've got players there like Gravenberch, who I would have started anyway, who I'm extremely excited about. But having Curtis Jones missing, if that's a potential thing, is really, really bad news for Liverpool, because I think he's been brilliant the last 6 months.
The other thing that this sort of leads me into is Ryan Gravenberch, who right now is starting to potentially look like a starter. If it is some kind of a knock or something, it's happened at a really bad time for Kurt Jones again, hasn't it? Because Ryan Gravenberch has come into Liverpool, he's playing really good football. Kurt Jones is playing really good football. They're vying for one spot by the looks of things, because you ain't taking Dom Szoboszlai off the pitch. Now, who is your starter if they're both fit?
Gravenberch right now.
Okay.
I guess it depends on the opponent. I think he's such a silky footballer. I'd love Ryan Gravenberch. I genuinely think he could be an unbelievable midfielder, one of the best midfielders in the world, you know, in the next 5 years. The way he turns on the half turn, he just glides through a football pitch. And I think against more open teams, him being there is such an attacking threat. We saw, he should have had the goal against Brighton, let's be perfectly honest. But in every single game, I've enjoyed what I've seen of him. He's got a decent goal scoring record as well since he's joined in. And look, if Curtis Jones was there, I'd be happy as well. But Gravenberch excites me to a new level. What I will say with Curtis Jones is he adds the balance, and everything looks more balanced when Curtis Jones is on the pitch, especially with McAllister at DM. So maybe it's just me being a little bit too excited and too attacking-minded.
We're allowed to get excited though, aren't we, Dan? I mean, Gravenberch has come in and he's looked on fire. I think Chloe's point's pertinent. Him on the half turn is absolutely superb. He looks like his first touches, get it 10 yards towards goal and go and chase it. Yeah. Like, he's absolutely electric.
Yeah, absolutely is. And Chloe uses the word excited there, and that's what both of Szoboszlai and Gravenberch bring in that their attacking 8 positions. I think Curtis Jones done a really good job of it, and he kind of, even compared to Gino Wijnaldum in the way he carries out the role, and I do get that because it's very uncomplicated. He does it for the team especially well, and Jurgen Klopp must have been delighted with Jones's form. And you mentioned this, whatever it is for Jones, maybe a knock or whatever, the fact he missed training has come at a bad time. I think his red card came at the worst possible time, because we're just starting to see glimpses of Gravenberch's brilliance and what made him so exciting during his Ajax days. And all of a sudden he gets 3 games, a free run at his role, and he's absolutely grabbed it with both hands. You've got to give him credit for that. But yeah, I'm with Chloe. I've been so excited by Ryan Gravenberch. I think we're just scratching the surface. It's been clear to see that he's needed minutes. It's been clear to see that his season last year, or rather non-existent season last year in the Bundesliga, hasn't helped him in terms of his own rhythm and his own fitness, but we're getting there now with him, and I think we're going to see the best of him. And those two together, interchanging, swapping over, that's so exciting to watch. So I'm here for more of it, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Dom Szoboszlai has just been him, hasn't he, since he came in, to be honest with you. He has been just the best signing that we've had in such a long time.
It's mental, because I don't think we've actually had a midfielder like him. Like, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain in his early days before he got the horrific ACL injury, that is what I thought. Oh, Dom Szoboszlai could offer a bit more like that. He could be a bit more direct, carry the ball up the pitch, shoots from outside the area. He's incredible. No, he's literally one of the best footballers I've seen. He is ridiculous. He's relentless. He's technically brilliant, but he's also so calm and collective in moments where you feel like, oh my God, just doof the ball up. No, he takes the extra touch and he picks out a pass. And against Bournemouth, he could have had, maybe 1 or 2 goals if they would have been the right side of the post. He just missed from the right-hand side. What I will say is I most definitely like him better at right centre mid than I do at right wing, that's for sure. But yeah, I think he's just incredible, isn't he? It's hard not to get too excited. And if he plays every single game, which it feels like he potentially could be, let's touch wood though for that, it wouldn't surprise me, because he just is that relentless.
Dan, you were talking about this a little bit before. I've got a question from Quadbod on my Discord here. It says, good afternoon, ladies and gents. Are we confident of an easy afternoon today? I'm a little concerned for these types of games and our potential overconfidence.
Yeah, okay, interesting one. I get where you're coming from there, but I don't think this side has shown any signs of complacency. They've been ultra professional up until now, and I think we had glimpses in sort of the Europa League fixtures. I think the one in Lask in particular, obviously went 1-0 down there, and you wonder whether they have got into the game a little bit thinking, a sense of arrogance, the smallest possible sense of arrogance. But they've shrugged that off immediately and got back to business. And I think we've got a set of lads here, Szoboszlai being sort of the ringleader of that, and his mentality and his leadership. I don't think they're going to be allowed to sort of rest on our levels and just expect to win football matches, because albeit we've changed a lot from last season, obviously the personnel and of course the leadership group has, there's still people like Virgil van Dijk, obviously now wearing the captain's armband, who will remember these type of fixtures last season. We didn't win a single game to a newly promoted side away from home last year. So if you think the likes of Van Dijk, Trent as well, of course, as vice-captain, are going to allow us to come into a fixture like this, not on the top of our game and not taking it extremely seriously, I don't think that's going to happen. And like I say, the new faces, Szoboszlai, we all see what he said last week. What can Liverpool win this season? Everything. We haven't got lads who've come along for the ride. We've got lads who want to fight and really battle for the cause. So I get your concern, but that for me is sort of a concern that can be allowed to be left in last season, because these new lads don't seem to have the same sort of problems.
Absolutely. I was waiting desperately, thinking it's past. Where's the blooming team? I want to see it now, to be honest with you. We've got mere seconds until the team is out. Surely, to goodness, Liverpool need to change that top tweet for us.
Yeah,
so something, and we've got it. Yeah. Do you want to go through the side? Dan, are you happy to do that, mate?
Yeah, let's do it. I think I'm right in saying it's Alisson in goal. Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back, Ibu Konate and Virgil van Dijk reunited as centre-half after sitting out the game in Bournemouth in midweek. Joe Gomez, as we suspected, at left back in a really interesting talking point there. Alexis McAllister likely to be the deepest of the three in midfield. Dom Szoboszlai, the much spoken about Ryan Gravenberch as well. That's got Jota as if he was on the right-hand side. But I'm just going to go Salah, Darwin Nunez and Diogo Jota. And on the bench, that writing's not that easy to read.
Do you want me to read it out for
you?
Go
for it, yeah.
Kelleher, Endo, Louis Diaz is on the bench, which was rumoured to happen. Cody Gakpo, Elliott, Costas, Matip, Ben Doak and our very own Jarrell Quansah.
No Gakpo?
I said Gakpo.
Oh, you said Gakpo as well?
Yeah.
So Ben Doak too?
Ben Doak.
I'll have to find him.
And Quansah. So there we go. Obviously, it was mentioned, wasn't it, about Louis Diaz potentially being on the bench for this one. It's obviously good. It'd be nice to see the lads rally round him and stuff like that. No, obviously, he's not in the starting 11, but Jota's been playing well, hasn't he? So what are you expecting out of him?
Yeah, I'm really excited to see Jota. I think anyone who knows me knows that I like Jota more centrally than I do on the wing, but his close control is absolutely ridiculous. He doesn't look like a fast footballer without the ball, but when the ball is at his feet, he is electric. He's been incredible off that left-hand side in recent weeks. He's put in some boss performances. He smells danger. He gets on the end of things. When he played, obviously, midweek against Toulouse, he got on the end of Darwin Nunez's shot that was rebounded because he's just so intelligent. And look, I'm really excited to see Jota again because he's been in good form, scoring goals. And I actually like his link-up play. He's there to cut inside. And look, Luis Diaz, let's hope that everything with his family gets resolved, and let's hope, today the Reds can get the 3 points for him, and also maybe he can have, the reception he deserves as well coming off the bench.
I'm sure he will do. I've got a question for you, Dan, from Etam Ul Hassan, who says, if Gomez is at left back, what does that say about Tsimikas?
I'm not sure it says a great deal. I get why he'd asked that question, of course, but I suppose it depends if there is any reason given by Jurgen Klopp. If Jurgen Klopp comes out and says, I just needed to rotate Tsimikas a lot because, as I mentioned earlier, he's played a lot of football. He played in midweek where I kind of expected he might not. I did wonder whether having Quansah sort of meant we couldn't get another one of the young left backs in, maybe a Chambers or a Scanlon. We kind of had to go with a little bit more of experience there. So I'm not sure if there's loads about Tsimikas right now, because I'm not sure he's been dropped on form necessarily. For me, it's either a minutes thing and sort of a rest and rotation thing, or it's down to Luton and the fact that, like I said earlier, they are going to try and hit us with long balls. They are going to be very direct. And if we can get another centre-back in there who's better than Tsimikas in the air, because he just is, then I think that actually makes quite a lot of sense from a Liverpool perspective.
The other thing that we've not really picked up on, but there's no Kurt Jones in the squad.
I know, he was the one. I missed out, he was the one.
The Kurt Jones thing, so we still don't know. I've just gone and checked Ian Doyle, obviously chief Liverpool writer at the Echo. He normally puts something out about it. He hasn't actually mentioned anything about what the reason Kurt Jones is missing is, so we'll have to still continue to speculate on that. Chloe, I want to talk about the big man up front though, in Darwin Nunez with you, because this guy at the moment, man, he's just starting to look like the guy that we thought we were buying straight away, isn't he? And is he now first name on the team sheet for you?
100%. There's a span that you like to keep: Alisson, Virgil van Dijk, Salah. They're your three that you kind of always want on. But as for sheer entertainment and stuff, it is Darwin Nunez. He is the first name on the team sheet when it comes to, we've got Gakpo in there, you've got Jota there who could do that, you've got Diaz who could play on the left, which rotates the forward striker. Now he's got to be our striker in every single game. We saw his first season at Benfica wasn't great, his second season was on a different level, and I think we're starting to see that slightly. He's clearly a confidence lad, he plays off confidence, and he is absolutely flying high at this moment in time. His goal midweek, he gets the victory for Liverpool, and it's all on him. It's all on a moment of magic.
It's classic Nunez though, because it's a shocker.
The touch is horrific.
He misses it completely, basically.
Yeah. And everyone takes the piss out of him as well for it, but the Liverpool fans don't, and that's the difference. I remember him, he took a horrific touch and he's right by our end, and all you hear is, go on lad, you've still got that, it's still there for you. And then the next thing is he goes and absolutely puts it top bins. Yeah, he's absolutely pure entertainment. I love the lad, and let's hope he can keep that confidence going, because he's been boss on duty for Uruguay as well, so really excited to see him in, and he is 100% my number 9.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many goals and so many assists over the last few games from Darwin, Dan, that you just want him on the field at all times. But for anybody who's maybe coming into this, we've talked about Gomez and Timmercast and stuff. What are the advantages formationally of having Joe Gomez in at left back, and what does that allow us to do, if you can showcase it on the board, mate?
Yeah, that's another interesting element to this formation, actually. I did start doing it earlier, but then we spoke about something else. And obviously with Trent going in there as often as he'd like to, we might see a little bit more of that today, and that allows it to be a very flat back three, which with Joe Gomez in there, that's 3 centre-halves then all of a sudden. So it really is pretty much as natural as that can possibly be. We don't have that natural left-footed centre-back necessarily, but with Gomez playing at left-back, we haven't really done it a lot yet, because obviously we've had Andy Robertson out there, Costas Tsimikas, and Robertson and Tsimikas have done a good job when Trent has gone wandering into there of playing that role. But for me today, that's kind of how that should look. Really, for me, the three and then the boxer midfield and obviously your front three as well, that is pretty much as strong as I think we've looked in that department, because albeit Gomez won't necessarily do this sort of stuff that Robertson does so well, and Timmercast likewise, what he will do when Trent does go wandering to midfield alongside McAllister is he'll make that back three a proper back three, a back three of 3 centre-halves. So I'm a fan of it, and as I mentioned a couple of times already, I think that actually counters the way Luton will try and play quite nicely. So I'm really here for it. But just to finish on Darwin, Chloe says it there, he's absolute entertainment, he's absolute box office, and I think you have to strike while the iron's hot with a player like that. Yes. And I'm Cody Gakpo's biggest fan, I really am. And the fact that he's keeping him at the team right now on merit says a lot for his form.
Absolutely, mate, absolutely. I think the other thing here is, obviously, we probably come on up against a back 5, Chloe, and that could be a difficult thing for Liverpool to sort of try and break down. What do you expect to see from the front 5 players, let's say Dom, Ryan, Mo, Darwin and Diogo? Yeah,
well, I'm looking at the two, advancing 8s, we'd call them, to get in between the lines, because with the back 5, you assume that, Darwin Nunez loves to run in behind. His all-round game has gone up a level, but what he likes to do is he always likes to be on the shoulder, make the defenders think about that. I don't think you're going to get a lot of space. They're probably going to sit deep with 5, which means Gravenberch and Szoboszlai need to fill in between the lines and really help out. Make the midfielders either drop deep or push up. Make the defenders have to make a decision whether they need to interact with you and push up the pitch. And also, I'm really excited to see Gravenberch on the half turn. He unlocks players, he unlocks midfield by doing that, because one minute you think you're absolutely sound, your players, the player in front of you's got his back to goal, but all of a sudden he's turned on the ball and he's gone past you, he's took you completely out the game. So our advancing 8s are going to have to do a lot, but also, we can, even though they've got a back 5, you've got Jota, Nunez and Salah there, who's, the liquid when they come together. We've seen Nunez and Salah's relationship so far, but Diogo Jota cuts inside a lot. And maybe 1-2s and around the box. Take a couple of shots from outside the box. I wouldn't mind that. Follow it in. Make sure you're there. But yeah, I'm hoping that we are going to have to, try and unlock this back 5. But also, a lot of teams have done this already to Luton, so it should be something that Liverpool can achieve, especially with those players.
Of course, the only win that Luton have had so far in the Premier League this season, unfortunately for Everton, is Everton. Hopefully we don't fall onto that list of teams that Luton have beaten, of course. But Dan, one of the things that I've noticed about this formation is the left-sided 8 is getting wide at times.
Yeah.
It'll be Ryan Gravenberch today. Mm-hmm. Now, I think we might see a lot of Ryan Gravenberch move to that left-hand side and Jota move slightly inside a little bit to sort of occupy those 2 centre-halves. Jones has done it really well. Gravenberch has done it really well at times. And obviously on the other side of things, Szoboszlai and Salah and Trent going little 1-2s and stuff is maybe a way Liverpool could look to break them down.
Yeah, this triangle here, just to mention that before we go on to the opposite side, this triangle here has been a joy to watch, hasn't it, at times last season. We spoke a lot last year, in the early days especially, about the triangle of Elliott, Trent and Salah maybe not quite working. Likewise when Henderson was in there, but I think we've got a whole new dynamic. These are 3 high quality footballers here, and that's not to say the others aren't, but they used to just feel like they're on the same wavelength all the time, and it's bringing us a lot of joy, of course. But over on the other side, it's interesting. I think a lot of that is down to the left winger, and obviously now, especially with our left back, not necessarily marauding forward as much as they used to do in the glory days of Trent and Robbo both bombing on. Now that Trent tucks in here a lot more, Robertson hasn't got licence to do it, nor Timicas when he's playing it either. So it does make for a new dynamic over here, and the fact that our wingers, our left-sided wingers in particular, are so adept at cutting in all the time, especially Jota when it's him, he loves to cut in like Chloe mentions. It does make room for the Gravenberch to get out there, or Jones even to get out there when he's playing. So I think that interchanging and that just causing different problems for defenders is a real sort of secret weapon for this Liverpool side, because all of a sudden, if you've got lads who just pop into different areas, for example, you know what I mean, stuff like that, and all you're like, well, where's he gone? I was dealing with him a moment ago. It just creates different problems, different headaches, and they're also adept at doing that now, that you can't really have like a one method solves all for Liverpool Football Club, because we've got that many attacking weapons, and even on the bench as well, we've seen that come to fruition this season. Luton can't just go in and say, well, if we stop him, we nullify that, we'll be fine, because if that one doesn't get you, that one will, and if that one doesn't, the other one might. So happy days for the Reds.
Absolutely. Obviously, the score at the moment in the Premier League game that is live is Nottingham Forest 2, Aston Villa 0. That's a really good scoreline for us at the moment, isn't it, Chloe? I've got the Premier League table on my laptop in front of me now, and as you can see, Aston Villa are in 5th, a point behind us. Liverpool 4th, 23 points. Arsenal 3rd, 24 points. We could leapfrog them. Obviously, Tottenham play Chelsea tomorrow night, and City top, 27 points. It really is massive that Liverpool get a result today.
Yeah, it is. We've been talking about how this is a nice run of fixtures, or what you'd say winnable fixtures for Liverpool, and Liverpool needed to get as many out of them as possible and hope that teams along the way drop points. It hasn't happened up until this point. Arsenal have now dropped points. There's one team who we're above you, who you can leapfrog. You can go and put the pressure on Spurs, go level with them, see what they're all about against the Chelsea side, who are absolutely crap, but we can hope that they do something. And City are just City, but yeah, it's vitally important, because there are games where we will all meet each other in this top four. They'll come, and they're massive fixtures, and you've got to make sure you've either got points in the bank, or you're in and around them to be able to take over them. So yeah, it's vitally important that Liverpool get 3 points here. I don't think you can win a league and lose points to Luton Town. That's what I will say. Absolutely.
Raven Sky says, love this show. Thank you very much. Jorge Lopez, who gives a toss about Villa? We're in it to win it. You're right. I'm a dickhead. I'm sorry. We move on. I will not mention the fact that Aston Villa are getting beaten by Nottingham Forest by 2-0 anymore during this show. Next up, of course, is the watch along. That'll be 3:15, I think. No, 4:15. Apologies. That will be going live for that one. Before we go, though, we've got score predictions. Chloe Bloxham.
3-0 the Reds.
Oh, I like it. Who's the goal scorers?
Nunez, Jota, Gravenberch.
Okay, Dan, what about you, mate?
I've said 3-0 a week, so I'm going to stick by Liverpool taking care of business. I'll say Jota, Salah, Virgil van Dijk.
Virgil van Dijk.
My mate,
nice.
isn't he?
Your mate, yeah, of course he is, yeah. Dan got a little picture with the big man himself yesterday. I'm going to say 4-0 Liverpool. 3 for Darwin Nunez.
Oh, yes, go on then.
1 for Joe Gomez.
Oh, come on, play the game.
It's
Play
not
the
happening,
game.
is it? Fucking hell.
Tapping or Worldy?
Worldy, cutting inside, like...
Scuffs a shot, bobbles past the goalkeeper.
No, I want him to cut inside, like, I don't know.
Arjen Robben, but on the other side.
Yeah, prime Arjen Robben.
Yeah.
Why not? Bends it into the top. Bit like Nunez' goal from the weekend, except without the crap first touch, or midweek even. So there you go. Don't forget to like this video, of course. Come back for the watch along. We'll be back about 15 minutes before kick-off. It'll be me and Chloe on watch along duties. We'll obviously have all the post-match stuff as usual after the game. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this one. Up the fucking Reds.
Hey, thank you so much for checking out the content today. If you want to get your name in and amongst these wonderful people, then head to redmenplus.com. Join as a Legend tier subscriber. You're going to get free merchandise codes. You're going to get in our Discord, and you're going to get your name at the end of YouTube videos. Yes, redmenplus.com, Legend tier status.